I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about UFC pay-per-view prices will increase in 2023. The price of a UFC pay-per-view will increase in 2023 by $5, rising, oh, this is unbelievable, rising the cost of major UFC events from $75 to $80 per pay-per-view, right? Okay. UFC pay-per-view prices were raised in January of the hold on. Hold on. In January of this year, it went from $70. In January of this year, it went from 70, and then it ended the year at 75, and now it's going from 75 to 80. So it went up $10. This is going to go up $10 from basically, right? It's going to go from 70 January of this year to 80 of January. Wow. And then it's going to start with UFC 283, obviously. Starting with UFC 283 on January 21st, 2023, the price will be $80. Basically, I got to say $80. I'm not going to say $79.99. $80 on ESPN became the exclusive provider of UFC pay-per-view and of pay-per-view events in 2019. The price to purchase a UFC numbered pay-per-view event was $60, right? Okay. In 2019, right? And has increased by $20 under, what do you mean? Oh, it hasn't, okay. It's going to increase by, yeah, $20. That's insane. Wow. UFC 283 takes place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay, do we even have? Yeah, we're not gonna have to get into that. Wow, so man, this is crazy, right? And the question is always, okay, what's you know, there's always many sides to this story. There's gonna be, okay, there's gonna be the side of people who say, well, if you're raising prices, you're meeting demand, right? You're not gonna overprice your customer, right? And for the most part, right? You're not gonna try to increase it to the point where people are not going to buy it. So for everyone who says, this is a bad thing, and I get it, it is, it's never a good thing when prices go up. We get it. But let's not go too far and say, well, they're raising prices because it's like a failing process. You know what I'm saying? Some people are going to take the line that, well, they're struggling, they need to make more money, so they have to raise prices because, this, that, and the third. But then there's also the side of how many people are buying these pay-per-views, right? There is always a choke point where $100 is that it? $75 too much? Is $80 or people? Is it gonna be $100? In if it raised $10 this year, right? Are we 12 months from now? Are we gonna be talking about it being $85 or $90? That's the only question I have to ask. Like, because I don't think it's gonna be $70 next year at this time. And when does the UFC contract with ESPN run out? I think that's what a lot of MMA fans are wondering at this point. Like, like what's going on, right? When does this contract run out so we could get back to $60? And will the UFC ever go back to? I don't think they would go back to $60. Excuse me. But yeah, let me know your opinion of this. My only question with this, from each side who says, oh, okay, that's it. I'm not gonna buy it. I refuse. When I started buying UFC pay-per-views, it was $60 a month. At the start of this year, it was $70 a month. At the start of next year, it's gonna be $80. Not even, what am I saying, a month? $80 per, right, pay-per-view. Whew. Per pay-per-view. The demand for UFC is still rising, right? Like if you think of even during COVID, people were watching the UFC. So I don't know how much this is going to affect viewership. And the question is, what is, ESPN would never, I can't say they never, because they do put out, these pay-per-view numbers look great, but they never put out the specific numbers. And I don't think they will ever put out specific numbers. My only question is, 12 months from now, when we're covering this story, will, the start of 2024 ring in the price of, UFC going to, $90, right? The, maybe it's going to be at least 85, right? It's going to go up at least $5, right? So is it going to be 85 or is it going to be $90 next 12 months from now when we're doing this story? So, let me know your opinion of this story. Is $80 your tipping point? Because like I said, there are some choke points for people who, love the sport, but, when they were purchasing it in 2019, ESPN and Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and TikTok, they weren't really posting all this UFC highlights 5 minutes after something happens, so some people are just like, listen, I don't literally need to spend $80. The highlights are going to be up everywhere, right? The highlights are going to be up everywhere. Do I really need to buy it for $80, right? So let me know, is $80 your tipping point, or are you just a fan who's just like $80, $90, $100? I'm going to still buy the UFC pay-per-views. I'm Jason, UFC. Today we have a story that, it's going to take a little bit more money out of UFC fans' pockets, right? A lot, I would say a lot more money, right? I got to be honest, a lot more money. UFC pay-per-view prices to increase by $10 this year. Started 22 at $70. It's going to start 2023 at $80 per pay-per-view. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.